Alright, if you like the gameplay, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Now let me walk you through my own version of the story and lore. How I'd imagine Assassin's Creed Hexe if I were writing it. You play as multiple assassins throughout the game, but the central protagonist is Elsa Myrna, one of the darkest characters in the entire franchise. The setting, 16th century Holy Roman Empire, present Germany. But this isn't just any point in history. We're dropped into the blood-soaked heart of the witch hunts and inquisitions, a time when anyone could be branded a witch and burned alive for it. That's exactly what happened to Elsa's mother and sister. Both were executed before her eyes, betrayed by villagers and condemned with the silent blessing of the church. After that, Elsa vanished. She was born in Bamberg, a real place where thousands of women were executed. Years passed, but no one ever found out what happened to the little girl who lost everything. Then, one grim night in the quiet town of Hornburg, the deaths began. One by one, those same villagers, the ones who accused, betrayed, and stood by, started dying under mysterious, almost supernatural conditions. Most of their bodies were never found. Villagers began to whisper about witches returning from the dead, and ghosts stalking the night. But it wasn't a myth. It was Elsa. In her years of hiding, she had discovered a collapsed, long-forgotten chapel buried in the forest, a place cursed and erased by time. Beneath it, deep underground, she found what remained of the German Brotherhood of Assassins, an order wiped out by the Inquisition more than a century earlier. Their legacy had been burned, buried, rewritten. That hidden sanctuary became Elsa's turning point. It was there that Elsa first uncovered the truth about the Order, the Shadow War, the secrets of witchcraft, even early mentions of pieces of Eden. Inside one of the crumbling stone walls, she found a sealed relic, a phylactery inscribed with spells left behind by the last German assassin. From the moment she touched it, something awakened. Visions flooded her mind, nightmares took hold, spirits haunted her sleep, and something ancient and powerful was awakened inside her. Elsa wasn't just a broken girl anymore. She had become the rebirth of a long-dead brotherhood, and now she wants revenge. Not just for her mother and sister, but for everyone lost to the fire, for every lie disguised as faith. Her targets aren't just villagers with torches, they're the ones who lit the fire from the shadows. Because the witch hunts weren't random. They were part of a massive hidden conspiracy. The Templars had infiltrated the church across the empire. Prince bishops like the rulers of Bamberg and Würzburg weren't just clergymen. They were high-ranking Templars who personally authorized mass executions. Their reach extended all the way to Pope Leo X and his network of archbishops. The witch hunts were just a tool. Any spiritual opposition was quickly crushed and buried. Elsa's journey eventually takes her to the city of Eichstätt, where Cardinal Johann von Rotterdam has begun assembling a new squad of inquisitors. He's the one pulling the strings behind the executions of hundreds of innocents in the region. But his real goal is the search for a hidden piece of Eden buried deep within the Schwarzwald Mountains. As Elsa, you infiltrate monasteries and creep through sacred stone halls in search of hidden archives. You're digging up the names of those who served the Templars. Every scroll brings you closer to those who must die. In one of these missions, she crosses paths with another assassin, Matteo, a master cryptographer who survived the Roman Purge. Together, they begin planning a direct strike on the very core of the Inquisition. But something inside Elsa begins to shift. Every act of revenge, every kill begins to take its toll. Something dark is growing inside Elsa. She starts hearing her mother's voices, crying out for help. And the more madness she descends into, the stronger her mystical abilities become. Gameplay-wise, as players upgrade Elsa's spells, the open world itself begins to fracture. Sanity fades. At a certain point, the game feels like a fever dream. You'll be able to shapeshift into animals like ravens and cats to slip past outposts, or even possess NPCs to move unnoticed. Elsa uses her abilities not to maintain balance, but to inspire fear. At some point, even the assassins start asking, is Elsa a new beacon of hope, or a cursed witch who needs to be stopped before she becomes something worse? In Assassin's Creed Hexe, we travel across the darkest corners of the Holy Roman Empire. It starts in the remote village of Bamberg, tucked deep into the Black Forest. This is where it all began, the house where her mother was taken, the remains of old rituals, a half-collapsed chapel where exiled priests once hid from the church's wrath. From there, the road leads to Eichstätt, one of the spiritual capitals of the empire. The city is under the rule of the Archbishop of Mainz, a Templar puppet. Elsa slips inside the Grand Cathedral, but the real horrors are buried beneath it, in the crypts, where the cleansed are kept, and documents rest that could bring down the church's entire narrative. Eventually, we reach Cologne, the true heart of Templar tyranny. Beneath the towering Cathedral of St. Peter, Inquisitors keep their records, lists of the accused, transcripts of torture, and orders for executions. This is where sentences are written, and buried deep below it all, Elsa discovers a dark, forgotten tomb. Walls lined with rusted chains, the stench of time thick in the air. Shackled to the stone lie the remains of assassins no one remembered, their bones twisted, their insignias faded, their sacrifice erased from history. We pass through swamp-covered villages where the air is heavy with rot and secrets. There, locals still whisper to the old forgotten gods. Every prayer is a risk, every offering could mean death if the wrong ears are listening. But by the end of the game, we return to where it started, the Black Forest. But this time, to its forbidden heart, a place where reality bends. There, in a ring of standing stones, Elsa will finally come face to face with the ghost of her past, and begin to understand what she's becoming. Through visions, she'll uncover a deeper truth. Her maternal bloodline was deeply tied to the German Brotherhood of Assassins. Her ancestors had once used pieces of Eden to cloak themselves and stay hidden. They were labeled witches and hunted for what they carried, for who they were. The Templars twisted religion into a weapon. They stoked fear and lit fires not just to kill, but to erase anyone with access to Isu technology. The witches weren't random victims. They were descendants of those who still carried traces of ancient knowledge. Some could even activate these relics instinctively, maybe even genetically, like others we've seen before in the series. Elsa wasn't just born into this war, she was made for it.